Good morning, my YouTube viewers. It's Crystal here. I'm here because I wanted to make you a video about something that I was asked to do during the week. And I was actually asked to do this by somebody, but in order to, I anonymized it. So the invoice dates are the same, but the total items posted, I anonymized that by changing the values, and the cost excluding VAT, I anonymized that as well to keep it anonymous, so I wouldn't show what I was actually asked to do. So I just wanted to show you the process of what I did rather than these figures. And so basically what I was asked to do was I was asked to calculate the cost of postage for 3 months, which is what I did. And you can see we've got invoices for 3 months. And then in September, there were 5 weeks of invoices, whereas in July and August, there were only 4 weeks of invoices. So that's also going to make a difference. So in September, the invoice price, the cost is going to be more than July and August because there were 5 weeks of invoices in September, but 4 weeks of invoices in July and August. So the first thing that we want to do in order to get the cost of the postage is the first thing that we want to do is we're just going to put our little cell marker here on one of the cells, and we go over to here to insert, and then we go to pivot table, and so we say from table range, and then so I want the pivot table to be on the same page, so I'm going to say E1, and I'm going to click OK, and there's your pivot table. So we're going to say invoice date where it gives you months, and we're going to say cost, and we're going to say the sum of the cost. So you've got the date and months and the sum of the cost. So that's what I want. And then we're going to do another pivot table. And so we're going to put it over here on the date again. We're going to say insert pivot table from range table, and it's going to be on the existing worksheet. So it's going to be H1, and now we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to say tax invoice date. It's going to be months, and then we're going to say total items posted. And then so that's what we've got there. So that's what we want. So now we have 2 pivot tables, one for the cost and one for the total items posted. So now what we want to do is we want to make a diagram, because I was also asked to make diagrams for this. So we're going to do the cost first, and then I didn't do a pivot chart. I just did recommended charts and with columns, and that's okay. So you can see the recommended chart with the columns. You can see that September has a higher cost than July and August because there's 5 invoice dates in September, but only 4 in July and August, and you can see that. And then so we'll say Okay. So we've got postage costs. And then now what we want to do is we want to do another one because I was asked to make charts because the person that asked me to do it, he likes visualization because it's easier to see a chart or a visualization of something than it is to look at all those numbers. Okay, so then we're going to go to insert. I'm going to go to recommended charts. I'm not going to do pivot charts. And then we're going to do a clustered column. And then so we move that here. And then so we say num items whole. So this is what we've got. We've got two pivot tables. We've got the data, and we've got two pivot tables and two charts. And you could do a lot more than that. I mean, I had to anonymize the values. So in theory, you could say, you know, what's the cost of one item of post, but I don't think it's going to be very reliable in this instance because I've anonymized everything. But I'm sure that they're charged for a certain amount of money for each piece of post. And then so if I had used the original data, then you would have been able to calculate the how much one item of post would be. But it was going to be a little bit harder to calculate it on this anonymized data because I was just putting in values, like ranging it up to the nearest 100 or 1,000. So that's what I was asked to do, and then you know it wasn't that hard for me because I know how to do pivot tables. But the people that asked me to do that, well, obviously he doesn't know how to use Excel, and so he asked me to do it. And obviously he's a real busy person. He has a lot of responsibilities. He has to do a lot more than just work on Excel. So he asked me to do that. And I did it, and it wasn't very difficult for me to do it. So I thought, well, this is a good thing to make a video on because this was something that I was asked to do that the person didn't know how to do it, so they asked me to do it. And it had the data, the pivot tables, and the charts of the pivot tables. So I'm going to go ahead and conclude this video because I've covered everything up that I needed to cover. If you like my video, please like and subscribe. Thank you very much for watching my video, and I look forward to making another video for you in the near future.